brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com. Get your Be Kind t-shirt at thebullyexposed.com. So, welcome everyone. A little late show today. So when I woke up this morning and I saw our feed, I saw that we had like over like, I don't know, I think it was like almost 50 different likes, 50 different comments on our page, and I want to see if there are any interesting ones that we can talk about today. Gray say thank you for joining the show. First, let me get Young Blue and let's see, trying to get Pico, see if Pico can there he is. So we'll get him to join in on this. So let's see here. Let's see what we got here. We'll go down the list here of comments. Let's see. Someone's asking us for their support. Okay, Big Little Books asking us for their support. So let's check out Big Little Books and see what they're all about. Big Little Books. All right, let's see what they're about. Okay. Doesn't really, I don't really see much here. I'm gonna have to. Okay, well, they're definitely against bullying, this organization. All right, so let's see. So we'll go right here on the air to Big Little Voice and say, okay, let's support each other. Let's talk on the show. All right, so we invited them to come on the show, so that's one way we could support each other. And let's see, let's go down the list a little more. All right, let's see the next comment that we have. There's one comment in Brazilian, that I'm gonna have to translate later on, because for some reason there's no translator on it. So someone says that they liked one of our other followers. Let's see, one of what's his name? Paul Hammond. He's a photographer from Australia, and they said they like one of his photos that they saw on our feed, so that's good. So getting a little shout out for Paul. So if you like photography, check out hold on, let me get his exact exact address here on Instagram. It is Paul Hammond photographer. So yeah, he's got some real good work. He's got a real good eye. I am a big fan of his work. Demetrius, thank you for joining the show. Q Demetrius. If you have a question, guys, just smash that question mark. Let's see, just going through the list now. Somebody saw one of our feeds called it's this one right here. I guess I'll show you. So they saw this one right here, and they wrote heart. That's awesome. I think that's unique. So I'm gonna smash that heart on that. Um, and another person said, I absolutely love it. So we'll smash that heart as well. I'm not going to give any names because I know some people are underage. So we're not giving any names out. So if you want your name to be said, let us know that you want it to be said. Otherwise, we're just going to go through and kind of go through it without really mentioning anyone. And if you want to see who it was, you could basically go to the feed and see it for yourself. Let's see. So we put up this feed. This post, I should say. We put up this post, okay, telling you guys that we are on Twitter, on Facebook, and our email address. And someone wrote, I'm sorry, I don't have Twitter. Well, that's fine. No problem with that. You can go and find, and it's okay. It's okay that you don't have Twitter. We are on Facebook and we are on YouTube. Now that I mentioned YouTube, I do want to let you guys know that you can watch live feed now on Instagram. On YouTube at the Nonfiction Filmmaker. So every time we get done with a show, we post it on our YouTube channel. So if you like YouTube better than Instagram, because there's a lot of people that tell me that they like Instagram better. That they like other platforms better. We are on other platforms, and so if you want to watch our show, you can watch it on YouTube if you prefer to do that better. Just remember to always smash that thumbs up, comment, start let us know what you think of the shows and start a dialogue with people. We could all start talking about bullying, and learn from each other. I think that's important. So let's see. Let's see. Right? Okay, so we put up this. Let me show you the feed. The post. So we put up this post. It's our logos, two logos, a 10-year difference between our two logos. And somebody said that we like them both. Awesome. And then another person gave us two thumbs up. A thumbs up. So thank you guys for that. Appreciate that. Let's see what else we have here. Oops. I can't play videos. Okay, if I play a video, it starts to actually play. So I guess I'll have to tell you this one. We put up a video about what is this? About the instant lie. Remember we did our video about Insta lie, or if you live in the Insta lie, which is when people they get dressed up and they put makeup on and they put all that stuff on just to go and take a picture for Instagram rather than take a picture of what their face really looks like. And she says that we got 4 views on that one. That's interesting. Yes, I think what she's trying to say is why that we only got 4 views on that one, which is very interesting because I do look through our videos and I noticed that some have got lots of views, and then others only have 1 or 2 views. And it'd be interesting to know why people have been passing that video up so that we can know we can make it better. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is why. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so the person says, this is such an important message. Okay, and I do not understand why this video only has 2 videos. She said videos, but I think they meant to say views. Has only 2 views. Oops. I went to the wrong. Here we go. Okay, only has 2 views. this video only has 2 views, to think that me and only one other person watched this video tells me that many people are living Instagram lives. There's something to think about. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me let's hit some more people out there, see if they want to chat. Okay, so let's move on right along. Okay, so again, I'm going to show you the feed. I mean the post, not the feed, the post. And Tully's on. Welcome, Tully. Welcome to the show. So this is the post that we put up. And somebody said, let's see. You got me good. I thought you used a curse word because it says, go fact yourself. And then it says, get all the information before you speak about someone or their lives. So how you doing, Tully? Thanks for coming on the show. Tully has been giving us some great questions to go on. And later on in the show, we're going to see if we can get through his questions. Right now, what we're doing, Tully, is we're going through some of... I woke up this morning and had like about 50... I had 50 messages, and some of them were just people smashing the heart. Some of them were things that were actually said. So I'm showing you the post and what the person said. So if you want to get in on this, and go to one of our posts and post something, and I'll mention it on the show. Let's see what else. Going through some of them. Like I said, it's mostly smash hearts. So I gotta read through the smash hearts to find the items that were said. Okay, so here again is the post. And you don't have to try and read it. I'll read it for you. If you lost yourself in 2019, you can return. It's never too late to be you again. And she says, let's see. This is such a good post. So let me smash that heart for her. Such a good post. It is an important one. A lot of people think that because you might be 40 or 50 or 60 and it's too late to change. As long as you're living and you're breathing, it's never too late to change the person you are. Remember that. And give me a second here, because my son is playing loud music and I know you guys can hear it. So I'm going to tell him to put it down. All right. I had to send him a text to put the music down. You know, when you're living with a 15-year-old kid, sometimes he likes to jam out. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love jamming out as well. Okay, so let's keep going through all these messages that we had. And if you want me, like I said, to mention your comment, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm not going to mention the comments. So if you want to get it on this show, put your comment in now. Just pick one of our posts and put a comment. It'll come to me, and we'll talk about it on the air. Let's see. You guys are just smashing all our posts, and we really do appreciate that. And Tully says, yeah, teens. I mean, I was that way when I was a kid. My dad would not let me play our type of music in whatever music I liked. He only allowed me to play the type of music he likes. So that it looks like that's all of them. Thank you for smashing the heart. So let's go to the questions Tully had. Let's see, because Tully had some real good ones. It's real down to earth ones. I really like your questions, Tully. And you saw yesterday's show, Tully. So what did you think about yesterday's show? Because, like I said yesterday, you were the one that that asked yesterday's question. I hope that you didn't think that I was really. And I just got a message from Pico that says he's not home yet. Okay, so Pico won't be joining us because he's not home. That's sad because I always love talking with Pico. So he's not on yet. So yeah, what did you think about the way I answered yesterday's question? I felt like I answered it honestly, but I'm wondering if you were happy with the way I answered it. And the question, let's talk about the question from yesterday. So yesterday's question was, let me see if I can find it in here because I want to say it verbatim, the same way you said it. Okay, here it is. With the knowledge you have now, what advice would you give your parents? And I think it would be unfair, like I said. I'm going to go through it a little bit yesterday. I think it would be unfair to kind of give my parents advice because they didn't live through what they had to live through. My parents had my brother and my sister when they were very young. I think my dad was 18. My mom was 18 when they were born. Lewis, thank you for joining the show. Smash that heart if you have a question. They were very young, so what a parent at 18 and 19 would do compared to like when I had my children, which was I had my daughter at 27 years old. It's totally different thing. And plus, like I said, the most important thing is my dad was very strict. Thank you for smashing that heart. My dad was extremely strict, okay? I ain't gonna lie about that. But he gave a lot of good advice, and he was strict. This is from his words, not my words. He was strict because he wanted us to grow up right in America. Because when he came to America, he was judged a lot for being Hispanic. He dealt with a lot of racism because of Hispanic. I think I told everyone this story, that when my parents came to America, they were, I'm going to say bullied for lack of a better word, bullied for speaking Spanish. They were told, speak English, go back to your country, so on and so forth. And so they didn't teach us, my family, my brothers or sisters, any Spanish. And that's why my Spanish is very broken. I've learned Spanish from friends. That's why I learned Spanish. So I've always told them, that I think that's something they should have not done. But so maybe that's advice I can give them. If you say I can give them the advice of I would have taught them Spanish. My kid doesn't speak any Spanish, so I guess I wouldn't tell them that. But it's not right for me to say that as a person. The America that they grew up is way different than the America I grew up. Even though there was racism, their racism has brought them to feel that they should not be teaching their kids Spanish, which is unfortunate. So Tully says, yes, but unfortunately, I didn't really think of the audience ages in mind. That's all right. That's all right. We have a mixture. If the sometimes kids might not like what we're talking about, and we'll go on to something else, and they'll catch another video. Tully also goes on and say, I kind of thought that my question was aimed for an older generation. I see. No problem. So so I wouldn't give them, and the main reason that I feel that I would not give my parents any advice, because when I was at my hardest of bullying, when I was being very targeted all the time at work, every little thing I did was scrutinized. When I was working for the Postal Service of the United States, or the United States Postal Service, um, there was a time that I was dragged into the office every day and told what a bad job I'm doing. And you know that, that's fake. That a lot of people, I've had people say to me, well, maybe you were doing a bad job. Well, if I was doing a bad job, then why didn't they fire me? See, that's the key thing there. If someone's doing a bad job at their job, you first write them up, right? Maybe you give them, if you're an honest company, you'll give them a retraining. Okay, we're going to retrain you. And if they continue to screw up, then you might start to, okay, I'm going to write you up because we gave you a retraining and you're still doing this wrong. And then a write-up could be a suspension, and then a suspension can later become a termination, right? But that never came to be. See, that's how bullies companies. That's the thing that really gets me when it comes to companies that bully. Like we're not bullying you. They'll say we're not bullying you. You're just not doing the job right. Well, if I'm not doing the job right, why are we never talking about my performance? You're really just screaming, and you're really just yelling, and you're just bringing up silly, ridiculous things about my performance to get me to react. So, but when I was at that hardest point, and I was not getting any sleep, and life was just horrible. I had anxiety all the time. Yeah, guys, you're hearing it. I was once there, anxiety all the time. Couldn't sleep. The whole gamut, whatever it was I was having. I still never committed suicide, and I still held myself proud and kept my head up and was able to stay one head of these bullies. And there was more than one. So you're dealing with 3 bullies, all supervisors. So they're all above me, because they all had to be supervisors, because employees would never get to me. Even supervisors can't get to me with what they're doing. The reason why they were able to is because they were hurting my financial situation. See, when I first started at the I said bully, isn't that funny? At the Postal Service, supervisors would bully and yell and scream, and I would just look at them and go, I've dealt with, people, you gotta understand this. I came from the culinary field, and I'm not saying that this is right, but in the culinary field, unfortunately, there are a lot of Chef Ramsays. There are a lot. They can't speak and can't talk and teach people what they're doing wrong, that they just have to scream at them, and just like what you see at on Chef Ramsay's show. But I can tell you right now, I could be wrong, because he's one of the celebrity chefs I never met when I worked as a photojournalist. But I've met others, and I really don't think that's who Chef Ramsay is. I could be wrong. I think he's more of an understanding guy. Does he have a temper when it needs to be? Yes, I think so. But I don't think that what you see on his show, like Hell's Kitchen, I don't think that that's truly how he is. But anyway, I digress. So I came from that type of field. So a boss screaming at me, and the only way he can communicate is screaming and yelling. That wasn't new to me. That was not new. So when they saw that, they knew, oh, we have to step it up, because he doesn't get bothered by us yelling and screaming at him. Because, like I tell you guys all the time, you can't get upset. I get DMs all the times from you guys, kids, adults, everybody. So everybody is guilty, for lack of a better word, of it. You know, this person said that to me, this person said that. You gotta learn that those are just words, and they can, and that they'll get to you, they'll hurt you. Yes, it hurt me, the words that they said, but you gotta learn to, when you're in front of them, just hold that flat line, like I tell you guys. Okay, that's one thing. You know, Tully asked today, what's one advice that you got that's really helpful. There's a lot, but right now, when it comes to bullying, and that's what this channel is about, right? Bullying. So that's one thing that I really think is some of the best advice I have. When you go into a situation with a bully, whatever you went in, wherever the line, your line is at, you keep it there. You know, and maybe that's not the best advice, whatever the line is, because you can come in all peppy and happy, and being too happy and being too animated shows them that you're trying to hide something, and being too serious and too down might show them that what they're saying to you is pissing you off, and that's what you don't want to do. When you got a bully that's bullying you, thank you for smashing that heart, Tully. When you have a bully that's bullying you, trust me when I tell you, the best thing to do is not to let it get to you, not to show them. Nancy, thank you for joining the show. Not to show them that you're upset. What they're saying doesn't bother you. Now, if you have to go in the bathroom and cry at work, and you got one of those bathrooms that's a onesie, Beyond Vitilio, thank you for joining the show. I know I butchered that. I'm sorry. If you have a bathroom that has a onesie, not the bathrooms with a bunch of stalls. If you got a bathroom that's a onesie, go in there and cry your heart out. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you have a question, please smash that question mark with just here talking, guys. So no particular topic, whatever you want to talk about. So yeah, if you have to, you go in that bathroom and you cry, or you take a break, because I'm not gonna paint you a lie. Did I get upset? Sure. You're being yelled at for no reason. One time, I'll put it this way. I'll tell you this real quick, because I told the story a bunch of times. There was one. So you have supervisor 1. Let's say you have supervisor 2. Okay. Supervisor 1 tells you, don't do this, whatever. Well, don't take your lunch is what it was. Don't take your lunch at 12. Supervisor 2 tells you, take your lunch at 12. So what do? And the thing that I would do is I would wait. Whatever the last person tells you is what you need to do. So Supervisor 1 says, don't take your lunch at 12. And Supervisor 2 says, I want you to take your lunch. It's 12. I want you to take your lunch. You go and you take your lunch. Well, that happened to me. And Supervisor 1 brought me into the office and started screaming at me and yelling. Of course, that made me upset. But I could not show her that. So I just let her go at it. And I just hit her with knowledge. You always hit the person with knowledge. That's what we call it in New York. Hit the person with knowledge. You don't actually physically hit them. It's metaphorically, right? You speak to the person with knowledge. And the knowledge at the United States Postal Service is you follow the last direction of the last supervisor. So 5 supervisors can tell you don't go to lunch at 12. If one tells you it's 12 and I want you to go on lunch, that's what you do. So that's what I did. Now, if I went to go to lunch and another supervisor told me, what are you doing? I'm going on lunch. No, don't go on lunch. Then you take that supervisor, you say, come here. Supervisor 1, Supervisor 2 is going to tell me to go on lunch. You're telling me not to go. What's going on here? And let them figure it out, but you never show them that you're upset. Fine. Fine. I know that I pissed off tons of supervisors at the United States Postal Service by not getting upset. Fine. I won't get upset. No, no, fine. That's what you want me to do? Hey, no problem. There would be some supervisors that would tell me to do things that took longer for the job to get done. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what field you guys are in, but if everybody knows there's a right way to do something, there's always a shortcut to do something in every job. The shortcut usually it doesn't make things look nice. The right way is always what makes it look nice. I would have supervisors that would tell me, the opposite. No, I know that's how you like to do it. Don't do it like that. Do it this way. And it would take me 20 times longer to do it that way because that wasn't the right way to do it. You think I got upset? I was like, no, okay. You want me to do it like that? And then at the end of the day, it's like, why did that take you 6 hours to do? Because you told me to do it this way. And that's the wrong way to do it. Princess Star, thank you for joining the show again. Awesome. Tully says, welcome to show the guys. Yeah. Give me some more information on that. What do you mean? Maybe I'm missing something. But don't argue with your supervisors. Don't argue with them. And definitely, the one thing that you definitely don't want to do is you don't want to get into pissing contests with people that work. Like some people tell me that they get bullied by other workers. Definitely don't get pissed off by other workers. Don't say nothing to them. Because there are some people who are level with some people, and because they've been there longer, they think they can tell other people what to do. I've seen that. But yeah, I don't. I would never get into arguments with workers who were trying to bully me. I would just walk away from them. And it's as simple as that. Walk away from them. I had this one guy in my job that used to try and tell racist jokes to kind of piss me off because he thought I was gonna get pissed off. Nope, that doesn't bother me. So I really don't know what to say to that. But if you're a person that's being bullied by someone at work that's equal to you, you really, really, really gotta just let that go. You have to, because you getting upset is what's fueling him or her even more. And Tully says, welcome to the show, everybody. Awesome. Yes, welcome to the show. Let me see what else Tully said. So let's see. So what's the best advice you ever had? So we answered that. The best advice I ever had is when you're dealing with someone that's a bully, it's always best to stay at that flat line. Like I'm doing now. People come on, they don't do it anymore. I don't know why, but people, if you remember, used to come on the show and say some stupid things. We had one guy come on the show and his name was N-word something. And everybody on the show got so upset, that he would have a name N-word something. And I paid no attention to him and then finally just blocked him. I didn't say anything. I didn't say, what kind of name is that, dude? And blah, blah, blah. Don't say that, because that's what they want. If that's what they want, and you're fueling them, and you're making them, I achieved something today. I went on live feed with your host with a name N-word on it. Best thing to do is block and keep on moving. Block and keep on moving. Now, I know that a couple of days ago, I sent out this conversation that I was having with someone, because we thought, we all got together, all the people that helped me on this account, and we thought that it would be a good idea for us to interact with bullies so that you can see how bullies act. It's the same story. The guys, I basically said, that what was it that I said? That there's a lot of people like Tully. They're from overseas. They're my friends, and they say, "Well, you were born in New York, right?" And I would say, "Yes," and they would say, "Well, then you never experienced bullying before, right?" And I'm like, "No. Even in New York, I mean, not bullying, excuse me, racism. Even in New York, there's racism. You know, a lot of people think that northern countries in the US, there's no racism, but there is racism there. There's a lot of racism there. In fact, I just saw a video today. I'm really shocked about it too, that in 1937, there was a rally, a Ku Klux Klan rally in Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden's in New York. I mean, it's like the heart of New York. And in 1937, there was a rally there for the KKK. They would never do that now. That would never stand. You know, and so when I mentioned that, he said that's not true. You know, that there's racism in New York, and I dare you to try to prove it. So I said, okay, well, let me tell you a story. One time, and I'll tell you guys a story for those of you that haven't heard it. One time I was in New York playing, I was 10 years old. I was playing with one of my best friends. And now, I don't look at friends and see color, okay? But for this, I have to tell you, he was white. Or maybe I didn't have to tell you that. You would have figured it out. But so 2 police officers pulled us to the side. They detained us. We weren't, you know, I say pull. I told a friend this story and I said, pull you to the side. And they said, like, you were 10 years old. Why were you driving? And so I should have not said it like that because it makes some people think that, wait, was he driving? No, I wasn't driving. They just pulled us to the side. Princess says she's blocked 5 people for using the N-word. Good for you, Princess. Armed for Life, thank you for joining the show. So they pulled us over, these 2 cops. And one cop talked to my friend for 45 minutes. And one cop talked to me, threatened me about how he was going to beat me up if he saw me again hanging with a white person. And he sat and lectured my friend about how it's terrible for a white person to be seen and hang out and be friends with a black person. And his answer to that was, I'm lying, that's not true. Well, unfortunately, like I told him, I said, I can't prove that it happened. I'm sure those cops are long retired. If they're not retired, they're not going to admit that they pulled 2 people over just to, I said again, pulled 2 people over, that they detained 2 10-year-old kids just to tell them those words. So they're not going to say that, you know. They're not going to say it, but in his eyes, what I'm saying is a lie. He can't disprove what I'm saying. I can't prove it, and he can't disprove it. So how is he in the right? And that's how bullies are. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, you're always going to be the clown. You're always going to be the weak one, okay? So the best thing to do is not to go in and get into that with them. It really isn't. Let's see what we have here. Tully says, yes, I block people for using the C word. Good for you. Good for you. So you're never going to win with a racist person. You're never going to win with a bully. You're never going to win. You know? So the best thing to do is not to speak to them and not to deal with their games in that manner. Okay, so let's see. Tully also says, what is a word or phrase that people use that you can't stand? I can't stand. Well, right now, it is All Lives Matter. Right now. And it's also when one person says, like, I think the best thing to say is women. When women say, let's just say, men have it easier than women do. I think the worst thing for a man to say is, no, we don't, or that's not true, or whatever. Because any man that has eyes can see that women do have it harder. Okay, they do. I've seen situations with women in the workplace. You can tell, and that the guy is just doing whatever he's doing because it's a female. If it had been a male, they wouldn't be acting that way. And I've seen situations where women have come in, been very polite, very nice, and say, look, this is my problems with this workplace. This is what I would like to see change. And the minute the woman gets up, all the men in the room say, what a bitch. Oh my God, what a bitch. What an attitude on her. She didn't have an attitude. And the same things happens to African Americans, and it's ridiculous. Someone will come in and say, here's my problem, and then the minute that person walks away, oh, what an N-word, what an asshole, what a all kinds of things. And I'm sorry for the kids that are watching the show that I'm using profanity. Please forgive me, but I want to deliver it the way I saw it. And it's like, and I sit there and I say, to the guys that say that, why you call her a bitch? Why you say what an attitude? She came in and she was so very polite. You can tell that she was choosing her words very carefully in what she would say because she didn't want to be seen. And that's how life is. And that's what people don't understand. That's the way it is also with the African American community. They choose their words very carefully to not to seem like an angry person. They try to deliver their words as calmly as they possibly can. And it happens to victims of bullying too. As nice as they can, they choose the right words, and the minute that person leaves, it's what an asshole, what an N-word, what an attitude that person has on. Like with me, the same. I've had that same thing happen to me. I've told you guys this. I have sat down. This has happened lots of times. I sat down with my bully, and I'll turn around and I'll say, look, you yell when you're giving orders. You do this. You do. I'll tell them the list of things that they do, and then they'll turn around to me and say, "Oh my God, Richard, you just want special privileges." I don't want special privileges. I don't want you to kiss my toe, kiss my ring when I walk in the room. I don't want you to bow when I walk into the room. When someone else makes a mistake, you don't yell. And I've seen it. You don't yell. When I make a mistake, you're screaming at the top of your lungs, and the mistake that person's made is bigger than the mistake someone else has made or I have made, and you're getting it all, and you're being mean, and you're yelling and you're screaming to tell me that. You just want special privileges. But whenever there's one thing that you should always do, guys, and Princess, I know that you've had a breakup with your boyfriend, and this is the same thing for women when they're breaking up with their guys, and Tully and all that. Well, you guys, listen to what the words that your bully tells you. Like, let's use the example. My bully said, "Oh, you want special privileges." So it's special privileges for when I make a mistake, or when something happens that you don't like, that you speak with me with respect and not scream at me. That's a special privilege. So look at what they're saying. What they're saying is that you are not worth that special privilege. That's what they're saying. They're saying that you are not worth that special privilege. Why am I not worth that special privilege? First of all, it's not a special privilege. It's not a special privilege to be treated with dignity and respect, and to be treated like a human being. That is not a special privilege. But yeah, they'll turn to me all day long and say, you just want special privileges. And you got to listen to their words. So it's special. It's special to be treated like, let's use the Black Lives Matter situation. I've heard people say that too. They want special privileges. Those black people want special privileges. No, they just want to be able to be pulled over by police and not be killed. That's a special privilege. That's a privilege that's only for the white. Is that what you're saying? That's because that's what they're saying. No, they want equality. They want equality. And Tully says, smash that heart, guys. Thank you, Tully. Tully's my hype man today. You know what a hype man is, Tully? Hype man is the one that keeps everybody going and keeps them interested in what I'm saying. And that's you, my friend. The hype man. Yeah, that's one thing that really opened my eyes when it comes to bullying. When those people said those words to me. You want special privileges. That's what you want. Really? Special privileges. That's really insane. You ask for the person, please don't yell at me when you give me directions. That's what you say. And that is a special privilege. That's a special privilege. Sorry, I gotta yell at you. I gotta scream at you. I gotta treat you like an animal because that's a special privilege. For me to come, and whether I made a legitimate mistake, I'm not perfect. I'm not a machine. Whether I made a legitimate mistake or not. All I'm asking is that if I make a mistake, that you come to me, you take me to the side, and you speak calmly to me and tell me what I did wrong and how I can fix it. That's a special privilege. You can't get that. Sorry. Same thing with the African American. What? You want us to pull you over in our police vehicles and you want us to speak with you with dignity? You want us not to roll up on you with our guns all out and ready to shoot? That's what you want? No. Man, that's a special privilege only held to one type of person. And you're not that person. Shame. Shame. That's a shame. But that's a special privilege. You know, that's a special privilege. So, what is the most valuable lesson you've learned from the hardest thing you've ever been through? Well, the most valuable lesson I've learned. Well, let me start by saying the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with is the bullying. That was the hardest thing in my life that I've ever dealt with. Hardest. I've had restaurants where for years I worked 7 days a week because the restaurant was open 7 days a week. But dealing with bullying is the hardest thing I ever had to deal with. For sure. And what valuable lesson I've learned that unfortunately that America is truly corrupt. Now we're not talking about racism. We're not talking about women's rights, nothing of that. We're talking about corrupt. It is truly corrupt, and it's set in a way that you can't, that if a honest person tries to get involved and change that system, they're not going to be able to. You can't do it. It's just way too corrupt, and it's designed. The bullies have got it to the point where good people can't combine together and try to end the bullying. Let's see, my two ladies, knitting needles. Oh, it's been a long time. How are you, ladies? Please smash that heart. Start the question Q&A going. Let me make sure that no one has hit that Q&A. Okay. Sometimes I don't get the listener 101. The listeners 101. Thank you for joining the show. That sounds like a good radio show. Listeners 101. Same with corporations in Australia. Yeah, and yeah, I don't want people out there to think I'm beating up on the United States. United States is all I know. Um, well, that's not true because I have spoke with tons of people in Canada, in the UK, and in Australia about bullying. I've had deep conversations with people in those places, and whatever you guys want to talk about, smash that heart and let's let's start the Q&A. Somebody ask a question. Um, my two ladies say yes. I mean, good, yes, long time, and I've been out of the loop. What have you been doing that you've been out of the loop? I'm curious. So yeah, I don't mean to beat up the United States. I think that every place is corrupt, and unfortunately, the powers that be have got it in such a way that people without power can't grow and end the corruption, and they have it so tight that they also can crush anyone who tries to make it better in any way, shape, or form. So we do have a question. Thank you for whoever asked that question. Oh, it's my good friend Princess. What do you do when people pick on my dead father? Well, first of all, that's very weak. If you're a person doing that, that's horrible. Um, like I said, it's just words. You know your father was. I'm gonna say was because you said dead father. You know your father was a good person. You know he was a good man. Don't pay attention and don't let those things bother you. Like I said earlier in the show, you have to not let those things bother you. Now, yes, okay, I'm human. Okay, I'm not trying to tell you guys to be machines. You're dealing with someone that's picking on your dead father. You deal with it. You handle it. You walk away. You want to go in privately in the bathroom and cry? Do that. You want to go to your mom and talk about what just happened, or to your boyfriend or to your wife or whatever, and cry and lean on their shoulder? Fine. But in front of those bullies, flatline. Flatline. That's the key word today. Just flatline. Don't let them get to you. Don't let them bother you. And think and listen. The best thing to really do. I know it's weird. Get ready because I'm about to say something weird. I know it's weird, but listen to them. Listen to what they have to say, because when you listen to them, you'll learn about them, because what they're saying when they talk about your dead father, Princess, is they're talking about what is in their heart. Okay? You got a lot of racist people right now saying a lot of things about African Americans. If you really think about it, that's what they're saying about themselves. Think and listen to them. That's what they're saying about themselves. I've had one person say, "Oh, African Americans are animals. They're animals." They are animals. And I'm not trying to alienate anyone here. When it comes to killing, when it comes to, let's talk about serial killers. Serial killers, I think there were only 2 women, maybe 3 or 4 African Americans, 3 or 4 people outside of that race, but they've mostly all been men. So that's what choice. So you're telling me that I'm an animal, but let's look at the truth here, So you got to learn to my thing is what I do. How do I stay flatline? Is I listen to them. And I listen to them. Like I said, to use that example again, like when those supervisors who were my supervisors told me, you want special privilege. Really? That's a special privilege. That is a special privilege. And that's what it is. So what they're saying is me. Now, I'm not saying this because of my color. I am not saying it's anything like that. This is about bullying. So they're saying to me, as the bully, that I do not have the right to have that special privilege of coming in and making a mistake and being talked to with dignity and respect. You don't have that right. Okay, that's a special privilege. That's what they told me. And then you use that on them. Whatever it is that they say. Because if you really listen to bullies and all that, that person's father could be dead too. And their father probably died, I don't know, robbing a bank. And they're sad that your father died probably with honors, probably serving our country, whatever the case may be. And they don't like that. So they talk about your father. If you notice, that is the pattern that happens with bullies, and that is the pattern that happens with people that do this type of thing, racist people and all that. They will project their feelings on you. And if you listen, you can catch it. You can catch it. You got to know what they're saying about your dad. But if you listen to them, you'll catch it. And you probably don't want to listen to them because they're talking negative about your dad. But to me, this is the game that I play with them. Okay, I'm going to listen to you. It's like when people tell me, well, your film sucks. Okay, you're saying I just did a film, you just watched it, and it sucks. Okay, what's wrong with it? Oh, I don't know, it just sucks. You think I'm going to get pissed off? I'm going to get upset. I'm going to, get loose sleep over someone like that? And my two ladies say, sadly agree. Yeah. Listen to them. Don't be afraid to listen to your bully one day. Listen to your bully one day. It's going to hurt. Yes. It's going to hurt. Okay, yes, it's going to hurt. Because these guys are experts. They know how to piss you off. They know how to hurt you. And that's why you can't give them that. You can't say to them, I'll give you a good example. And I'm not saying you did this, princess. I'm not saying you did this. But somebody starts talking to my father is passed away too. Okay? Somebody starts talking about my father. Saying bad things about my father. Now, if I say, hey, watch your words. Don't say that. Now he see, oh, I had a nerve. I had a nerve there, so let me keep going. And they'll keep picking at that, and I can get up and I can hit them, and then I'm going to be in trouble, right? Or I can just listen and take everything they say and turn it. What is your problem with your father? What's the deal with your father? And just twist everything on them, because if they were happy, they wouldn't be coming to you talking about your father. Let's put it that way. If they were happy, they wouldn't be bullying you. Okay? If they were happy, they wouldn't be saying all the things that they're saying about Black lives. It's like, like I told a friend today, I've had women turn to me, like I said early in the show, I've had women say, you men have it easier in the workplace. That doesn't bother me. That doesn't hurt my feelings. When I see, women's lives matter. I can't think of anything right now. You Too, right? Me Too movement. When I see any of that doesn't hurt my feelings. That doesn't bother me. Now, does it concern me sometimes that women will take over and they won't give jobs to men? No, I don't think of that. And it's even happening now. There was a film made and none of the people were men. And I understand why they did that. But if they continue to do that, then there's rights, and we'll fight and we'll do whatever we can. But we can't just assume that if women get better jobs, they're going to treat people like that. And I am so sorry I got 15 minutes. Thank you guys for coming on the show. Remember, anyone can wear the crown. Anyone can be a hero. Let's continue this tomorrow.